Episode number 1, we're going to feature Kickdown 100. I'm Big Ern.
I'm Bobby Blue Eyes.
And we're going to get after it. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Alistair Overeem steroid allegation, if you will. And we're going to go over a couple of the fights for the Kickdown 100. So I say we're going to save that Kickdown 100 for last, so we can really concentrate on it. One thing of note, though, Steve does need an AMI fighter.
He's an AMI fighter at 170 to fight Joshua Cole. This will be on the Kickdown 100 card, an all-title fight. This is a perfect chance and opportunity to seize the opportunity to take that belt, or if not, put up a good fight against Joshua Cole.
Right. Yeah, no, it's going to be good. You can give Steve a call at 720-422-5154. Help him out. Let's get this thing going. And also, you get a shot at a title. Next up, we got Alistair Overeem, MMA and steroids. This is starting to become, something, Bobby. It's like you're starting to see steroids around every corner. These fighters.
It's becoming a common issue among certain fighters, and the reasons we may never know. But yeah, it's becoming a problem and an issue, and it's kind of giving the MMA name a bad look, if you say.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I don't like the fact that this is coming up. I watched a show the other day where these guys are actually getting it legally. They're going into these doctors and they're getting prescriptions to elevate their testosterone levels. So, I guess I'd never heard of it before I got recently. So it's kind of odd that all of a sudden now, guys don't have testosterone or something, I don't know. So I just think it's a little odd. I'd like to talk to Doc maybe a little bit more about it. Maybe we can get an interview with Doc on this issue because, and it sounds like a lot to me, 10 to 1. And
yeah, his testosterone levels were 10 to 1, and I guess the normal levels for the Nevada State Athletic Commission is 4 to 1.
Yeah, or 6 to 1. I don't know which one. I found when I was reading the Chael Sonnen article, they said he was like 17 to 1, and that legal was 4 to 1. When I read the same thing as you on the Alistair Overeem thing. He was 10 to 1, and the legal is 6 to 1. So either way, it's like, to me, when you're taking those things, if you take a cup of water and then you add another cup of water, that's a whole lot more than you had when you started. And if he's double the legal limit, that's like if you take alcohol, and you're blowing twice the legal limit, dude, you're toasted.
Yeah.
So this tells me that something's going on. I don't want to convict him right now. I guess they take an A and a B sample. They tested the A sample. It's out. The B sample, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, it's just not looking too good for Alistair Overeem. King Mo Lawler also had the same problems earlier this week, and he got let go by Strikeforce. So,
maybe that's why Brock Lesnar went back to WWE or WEE. WWE.
He did touch back down on Raw, and
so,
they love him on Raw. Maybe he's
a
better wrestler than fighter. I never really.
Yeah, I don't ever know why. Maybe we can discuss him in the next show or something. But he's an odd character, to say the least.
Probably all we're gonna say about him.
All right, Kickdown 100. Steve Alley. Yeah, it's finally here. This is more than just fight night, though, Bobby. You know what I'm saying? This guy, Steve's got like a whole event planned, right?
It's a big weekend coming up this weekend for the Kickdown 100 show. There's going to be some seminars going on with UFC veteran Ed Herman, Strikeforce veteran Thomas Denny, and Brad Gum. So
solid. That's a solid lineup. So not only are you getting the seminar, if you get these tickets, he's got these special tickets available. You can get the seminars, and you get ticket to the fight that night. You just make it a all-day affair. Get you some pictures with Ed Herman. You don't even have the seminars. They're going to show you something. But it'd be worth it just to hang out with those guys for a little while.
Oh yeah, just to be in their presence is priceless.
Right. You can go on MMA Buzz. We're featured through MMA Buzz. We appreciate MMA Buzz for giving us some tools to work with and backing us in this. So go to MMABuzz.com. Like them on Facebook. Go to Kickdown MMA. Go to their website, like them on Facebook. So we got these fights going on. There's 12 fights, all for a championship.
Yeah, it's very unheard of. It's a very special
I think
card.
it's the first. One of many firsts that Kickdown's gone through.
Exactly, and Kickdown always sets the standards and raises the bar pretty high, and they come through with some quality main events.
Yeah, they got quality fights. There's always that one fight that you leave there saying, "Wow, that was awesome." You always leave there talking about one of the fights, and it's always worth the money. I've never been to a Kickdown show and said, "Oh, or man, I wish." There's always that fight that says, "Wow, that's."
There's always
out of
that
control.
one fight that'll stick in your head.
Mm-hmm.
One that comes to my mind was the Chris Holland versus Travis Peak.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Kickdown 76.
That was a good fight. I remember that one.
That was a good fight.
Yeah.
Speaking of Travis Peak, he's the co-main event for this Kickdown 100 fight. His original opponent was supposed to be Matt Cox, but for an unfortunate reason, Matt can't make this fight. We don't know if it's personal.
What's going on?
Physical, mental, whatever the case may be. So I guess it's going to be Ali Hanjani against Travis Peak for the co-main event.
And we've seen Ali Hanjani fight a couple times before. I don't know that he's a real big 170. He's he fought Nick Bushman and he beat Nick Bushman, but I mean, heck, as heavy as Bushman gets, 155. So even if that fight was at 155, that's still 15 pounds lower than 170, and Travis Peak ain't going to be 170 stepping into that cage, you can guarantee that.
Oh, exactly. Travis Peak's actually one of the heavier 170ers.
Yeah, he's huge, and he's a wrestler, so he knows how to cut his weight real well. And
it's just going to be one of those things where you just don't know how it's going to go, what way it's going to tilt towards, but I think on this fight I'm going to go with Travis Peak. I think Travis Peak has the experience. He's staying consistent, fighting wins or losses, and usually takes all his fights to the limit. So I think on this one I'm going to go with Travis Peak.
Yeah, I mean, his last fight against Cavan, he kind of gassed out a little bit at the end. That may have cost him the fight because, I mean, I had it went to decision. I definitely had it for Peak. I would have gave him the victory, but Cavan pulled it out there at the last minute, just kept going. But Travis Peak's wrestling is just too good. Ollie's not really. I don't think Ollie's going to be able to stop his takedowns. And on short notice, it's really rough to prepare for that kind of wrestler, a guy that can take you down like that. And unless I haven't seen Ali Hanjani in a while, so I just can't imagine he's got that much weight, built up that much weight, that he is going to be able to stop Travis. But like you said, anything can happen. I'm going to put my money on Peak as far as that goes. I think it can be a real entertaining fight, and those are the ones that you never know. You never know if Ali Hanjani just needs to. I've seen him put people to the rest. So if he can hit Peak and stop him, that's always a possibility.
Yep. You never know. The thing with these fights is the best man shows up, the best man wins. Usually it's not who the better fighter is, but it's who had the best fight that night.
Yeah, so that's a good point. That's a good point. That takes us into our main event. We got Jack Johnson versus Ian Stonehouse. I know that we kind of differ on our opinions on this one. I'm going to take Jack Johnson.
I think I'm going to go for Ian Stonehouse. My reasons being that he is on a 2-fight losing skid, but he has fought memorable opponents such as Chase Hackett, Cameron Dollar, Jeremy Molitaire. I mean,
Kelso. Yeah, he's fought some really good opponents. That's true. That's a good point.
So just in that alone, for heart, I'm going to go with Ian Stonehouse, even though he's not the champion and he's fighting for the belt. You never know.
I don't know. I like Jack Johnson. I've kind of liked him ever since the first time saw him fight when he fought. He fought way back. I saw him fight, and he actually fought before this. But the first fight I ever saw him fight was on Kickdown 52 against Pete Vandervoort. But I think Jack Johnson just has stand up, and I think Ian's going to stand up with him. I think Ian Stonehouse is going to try to stand up with him, and I think that's in the end that's going to actually be his downfall. I think Jack Johnson his stand-up is just too good, too precise, too deadly, and deadly. I like that. He's just too deadly, and I'm gonna take Jack Johnson. I just think it's gonna be a war. I don't think this fight's gonna go to the ground very much, and I think Jack Johnson's stand-up is better than Ian Stonehouse's stand-up. I think that's what's gonna come down to. I do think. I know that's gonna be fight of the night, and I don't know, Bobby. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a fight that we're going to be talking about for a long time. I think we're going to have the awards next year, and this is going to be one of those nominees for Fight of the Year.
I have to agree with you on that, Big Earn. I also agree it's going to be a very big fight. Two solid competitors and fighters. Great sportsmanship, professional. It's going to be a good fight.
And you know, and then you got, I mean, that's just 2 fights. You got the rest of the card. It's all, I think this is another Kickdown first. This is another MMA first. It's an all 12 fights, all for a belt. Every single one of these fights is for a belt. So you're going to see people putting out their best effort, trying to walk away with the gold on a very special night, you know.
Yeah, it's basically unheard of. Very special night, as you said, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, and I think that's it. We'll be back, you know, next week. We'll break down the fights, you know, what we saw, and we'll get into the UFC, because obviously we got a UFC event coming up on the 14th. So we'll get into that. We'll kind of make some predictions and talk about that, and then we'll break down some of these Kickdown fights that we saw. So one last thing, you want to tweet at Dana White. You want to tweet that you want to see the Chris Camozzi fight. So we want to try to get Chris Camozzi on TV so we can actually watch him without having to, you know, wait until we already know the results. We got a lot of things coming up, you know.
We've got to follow the fighter with Chris the Hammer Holland. He's going to be main event in the Ring of Fire against Phil Baroni. So we got the next 9 weeks with Chris. So we'll be following him with training, moves, dieting, kind of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
it'll be really awesome.
And we're gonna do these shows for, you know, try to about 1 a week, you know, at least try to keep you up on what's going on. Maybe 2, 1 before fights and 1 after fights or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. And also next week we're also going to go over a new legislation bill that just passed in Wyoming. It was Law House Bill 57, which basically says that MMA is a sanctioned sport in Wyoming, but also MMA has its own commission board that goes for the rules of Wyoming MMA rather than the boxing commission, which they never had in the first place. So now fights will count in Wyoming. I'll have more information on that, and hopefully next week a better understanding of what's going on. And it's a big deal from MMA.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with out there, if they, you know, cut off some of the rules or whatever. So we'll look into that, and we'll get into that more next week. So it's Big Earn signing out.
And Bobby Blue Eyes.
All right, peace.
Check you later.
April 7th, Red Lion Hotel, I-70 in Quebec. Kickdown 100. Come see Jack Johnson versus Ian Stonehouse in the main event, and Travis Peak versus Ali Hanjani. Don't miss out. UFC on Fuel, Fight Night, April 14th. Gustafsson and Silva, Stan Sakura. April 21st, Rocky Mountain, Bad Boys presents Collision Course in Sheridan, Colorado, Red and Jerry's. Don't miss out April 28th, Ultimate Top Team presents Fight 6, Donnie Lyles versus Jason Clayton. See you there.
The dream is fading, now I'm staring at the door. I know it's over 'cause my